Now, what am I gonna call you? Rocks. Rock? Oh! Your name is Pebbles.
Hello everyone and welcome to the recap review. Today we're going to be taking a look at set number 8941, Rockoh T3. The set contains approximately 390 pieces, was released in the summer of 2008, and at time of release was approximately $40. So there we have it. We're kicking off the vehicles with the smallest of the vehicles, or at least the T-Series vehicles. Now, clearly enough, this is Pohatu, so we're going to take a look at his lineage line in just a moment. But first, I need to get the disclaimer out of the way. Just because there is a pro or con in this video does not necessarily mean it is my personal opinion. Please feel free to take this as objective as possible. I do my best to keep these reviews as objective as I can. Any and all comments made are either opinions from the community or objective facts about the set that I can represent here on camera. So please, unless I explicitly say so, do not assume that it is my personal opinion. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get on to the review. So, as we can see here, it's a vehicle set. Normally with vehicle sets, there are riders. And the rider in this instance is Pohatu. So we're going to go ahead and take him off. So, there we go. He's got these little handlebars right here. We don't want to take the handlebar with us. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Got to put that right back in. Okay, this is the tricky part, getting him off of these. You can see he has one giant foot handlebar. There we are. Okay, take the Rockoh out of the picture, and we have Pohatu. Now, Pohatu this time, he actually has a few new interesting pieces. By a few, I mean just generally two. None of the pieces other than the new visor and this nice little torso piece here are new. The Inika torso piece is obviously the longer one, and it is new in orange. The visor's just new. It's a remodel of the one we got this year, and we can see it has a lot more detailing on it, and it also has these aerodynamic fins. So, there's Pohatu, released in the summer. Here's Pohatu, released in the winter. So, clearly enough, he's gotten a bit taller. By a bit, I mean a lot. His arms now have hands attached to them, which is kind of a change of pace for Pohatu. Hands, haha. Another thing of note is that Pohatu's arms are a lot longer. Now, I think generally they're roughly the same size. They're roughly the same proportion. However, Pohatu Rockoh is definitely a lot more sleek and slender. His legs are generally the same, except they're a bit longer in the thighs. His torso is completely different. He's actually your standard Inika build, only orange and with the torso flipped. Keep in mind, that is right. So, here's a comparison. I'm going to go and move them out of the way. If you're looking for an interesting rider, you will not find one here. Let's get to the meat of the set. Boom. The Rockoh T3. Now, I apologize if there seems to be some dust or some grime or what have you on this. Don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but it's quite a mess. That's what really happens. So let's go start us off. Right out the gate, we have an interesting color scheme. See, all the T-Series vehicles have some form or shape or color that you can easily identify them with. For the Rockoh, it's green, so you get a color combination of lime, metro green, silver gray, black, a little bit of red, a little bit of blue, and orange, thanks to Pohatu. Now, the build of the set is actually quite complex, and it's really interesting to see all the functions in play here. The set's build is a lot of fun. It's technic, it's unique, it's inspired, and there's a lot that goes into it. Let's go ahead and look over the functions. Right out the gate, we have this turner right here. It's kind of a lever, and you turn it, see, to the left, and these will come down. It's a really cool function. It's really simple, just kind of back and forth. Works really nicely. Now, I believe there is a rubber band in play here. However, a lot of this is the gear function, the actual gears themselves. So the other function is actually really astounding and works quite well. On the other side of the Rockoh, you have this lever here. And if you really pull on it, that's right. Where'd it go? Here it is. It's a Zamor launcher. It's a giant Zamor launcher, as you can see right there. And it goes right in the top here. Boom, ready to go again. Works astonishingly well. So it's really nice to see the functionality really works in this set. It actually works. So from the front, we see we have some new pieces, or at least new recolors. We have these Anika armor pieces, new in lime. And we actually have one more, so you get 3 of them, and that's really neat. And then we have some wave pieces, which is to be expected. We have the fin piece up there. We have Kopaka's wings, and more wings. And that's generally about it. We do also have some older parts, which are kind of unusual. You can see this is a Nuvok shield piece. This is Galak Hull. Now, this is normal in silver. This is not. And it's kind of weird, though, because they're kind of facing opposite directions. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of reason for it. In fact, the Rockoh, being the smallest of the vehicles, has to have something for it. Well, it looks the most heavily armored. However, it's also the shortest, the stumpiest looking, and it also kind of looks unusual, like it's missing something. So, flipping these down, you see that there is a sizable gap, and that's to be expected with a Technic build. Some people may not like that, though. However, it's just the nature of Technic. There's going to be gaps. However, aside from the gaps, where it is armored, it's actually quite well armored. Not bad at all. These look kind of unusual. The entire machine just looks a little weird. Like they kind of used up their ideas on the Axelara and the Jetrax, and then they were like, oh wait, we need one more. I've got an idea. And this was the end result. Now the seat actually looks really cool. It actually looks like a seat, a comfortable seat. And you do seem to have some sort of control panel, at least that's the intention. However, one criticism one may have would be the additional red pieces on the set when it comes to the color scheme. And when you look up here, you see there is noticeable red, the red axles, this. However, one could make the argument that it is still an accent piece because of the system pieces right here on the wings. So, it looks really cool when it's like this. And when it's like this, it looks kind of like it's in more of a defensive mode, like it's trying to be armored up. As for the size, again, it's the smallest, so it fits in the palm of your hand relatively well. Not very heavy. And works as a nice little blaster. A couple of other things to note. There are open axles and open pins, which is a little unusual. Obviously, these and these, those will be covered up. However, for everything else, it's not going to be. Now, speaking of covering those up, let's go ahead and grab Pohatu and put him back on. Alright, so to put Pohatu on, you gotta bring his legs back, kind of like this. Bring his arms forward, kind of to this position. So, it looks like he's riding him. Bring the feet down to this axle right here, and line them up so that they are back. Kind of like this. Push them in, and there we go. Those are all covered up. No, they'll stay there. It's a really stable system. Take the arms, you know where to put the hands. Kind of put them in like so. And they're neat little handlebars. They work really well. They look quite nice. So then you push Pohatu back, and what I've seen a lot of people do is they take this little snub piece right there, and they put it in one of the pinholes. So it looks like kind of like he's sitting down, and there you go. Really easy, really fun. There's not a whole lot to it, thank goodness. So he sits right there, and it looks relatively fine. The orange and the green do work to a degree, and you obviously need the contrast for the rider and the vehicle. They can't blend in. That's why Liwa does not have this vehicle. Of course, Pohatu could have worked on the Axelara since he's not red, he's orange, but I digress. So it works out. He's riding the Rockoh, and yeah, it's a quaint little vehicle. You're not going to get the most expansive build. You're not even going to get arguably the best build. There are some gaps, a lot of gaps, but that's to be expected with Technic. It's quaint. That, I think, is the best way to describe the Rockoh. It's a nice, quaint little vehicle. It's got well-working functions and quite an ingenious blaster system. It's really phenomenal how well that works. We got some nice little recolors, specifically the Anika shoulder pieces and the Anika armor. However, it does have some odd design choices, specifically the armor placement right there and Pohatu's entire torso. In fact, Pohatu is kind of unusual in and of himself. Of course, this stability is actually really fine. It can be knocked over, no problem, but it will stay even in a small breeze. So there you have it. That is the Rockoh T3. What do you guys think about this? Do you like the Rockoh? Do you prefer another vehicle? Feel free to let me know either in the comments below or on the TTV message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. Thanks for watching, and join me next week when I go over the next step up. That's right, the Jetrax T6. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.